It's past 2 in the morning. The road is empty. Your high beams sweep across nothing but broken asphalt and trees. You've been awake too long, every sound inside the car amplified. The hum of the tires, the rattle of loose change in the cup holder. Then, without warning, something shifts at the edge of your vision. A figure steps onto the shoulder. You slam the brakes, heart hammering. But in the glare of your headlights, there's nothing. Tonight we'll dive into 4 real encounters that drivers swear were not dream. Louise, a college sophomore, had just finished a late-night diner shift. Snow was falling, muffling the world into silence. Route 17 was the fastest way home, 20 miles of unlit road, lined with thick forest. 10 minutes in, he saw her, a woman walking along the shoulder. Thin frame, pale dress whipping in the wind. Luis slowed down, rolling down his window just enough to call out, "You okay?" The woman didn't turn. She just walked, steadily, into the tree line. No footprints in the snow where she left the road. Luis tried to laugh it off. Fatigue, imagination. But 5 miles later, his stomach dropped. There she was again. Same pale dress, same stride, same direction. He gripped the wheel, convinced now it had to be some trick. He pressed harder on the gas, past her without making eye contact. But curiosity won. He checked his mirror. For one impossible second, she was staring back. Eyes wide, mouth open, far too wide, like she'd been waiting for him to look. Luis drove the rest of the way home with the mirror tilted to the floor. To this day, he won't drive Route 17 after dark. Jordan was a long-haul trucker. Texas desert, endless night. He was hauling steel, keeping to his lane when he saw headlights crest behind him. A semi coming fast. It drew up close, too close. Its high beams lit up his cab like a stage. He motioned out the window. Go around. The truck didn't move. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Every time Jordan changed lanes, the truck stayed blocked behind him. He began sweating, knuckles white on the wheel. He thought, I'll lose him at the next rest stop. He swung off the highway, pulled into the wide, empty lot. The semi followed, engine roaring, and then it passed him. But the cab's windows were pitch black, no silhouette of a driver. The trailer had no plates, no logos, just matte metal gleaming under the lights. Jordan's heart was still pounding when he climbed down and went inside. He asked the clerk if they saw the truck too. The man just looked at him confused. Later, Jordan pulled the security footage himself. There was his rig, parking. The lot behind him? Empty. Not a single set of headlights followed him in. Emily was driving home from her best friend's place in Vermont. The roads were narrow, forest pressing close. She cracked the window, letting the night air in, humming quietly to the radio. Half an hour in, she glanced at the rear view and froze. A man was sitting in the back seat, silent, still, watching the back of her head. Her body screamed to slam the brakes, but something deeper told her not to stop. Not yet. She locked her gaze forward. Minutes crawled by, her throat dry, her hands trembling on the wheel. In the mirror, he didn't move, didn't blink. Finally, the road curved under a streetlight. For a second, his face was illuminated. Sunken eyes, hollow cheeks, skin the color of stone. She blinked, and he was gone. When Emily finally pulled into her driveway, she opened the back door with shaking hands. Empty, but the seatbelt was still twisted, like someone had been sitting there, and the faint warmth in the cushion hadn't faded. Two brothers, Mark and Daniel, were heading home from a wedding in Pennsylvania. Their GPS rerouted them down a road they didn't recognize. At first, it seemed normal. Brand new asphalt, smooth lines, but no signs, no exits. After 20 minutes, Daniel asked, "You notice we haven't passed a single car?" Mark nodded, uneasy. The trees were pressing in tighter. The white lines at the shoulder faded until they disappeared. They argued. Should they turn back? The problem was, there was no shoulder, just a steep drop into black forest. The road narrowed until it was one lane, then ended abruptly at a barricade, rusted, overgrown with vines. Behind it, only trees. Panicked, they turned around, except the road wasn't the same. Asphalt cracked, potholes yawning. The forest bent inward, choking the lane. The brothers drove in silence, headlights catching twisted branches that looked almost like faces. When they burst back onto the main highway, shaking, the GPS calmly displayed, "Continue straight." Later, they checked the route history. It showed a clean line, never leaving the highway. Chris was on a cross-state drive through Nevada. It was past 3 in the morning, his tank running low. Desert roads stretched on forever. Black sky above, blacker ground below. Finally, in the distance, he spotted fluorescent lights. Relief washed over him. A gas station. It looked off, too clean. The pumps gleamed like they'd just been installed, yet the building itself looked decades old. Cracked sign, peeling paint. Still, he pulled in. No other cars, no attendant, just the faint buzz of the lights overhead. He stepped inside to pay. The store smelled stale. Shelves lined with brands he didn't recognize. Cans with labels faded almost blank. A cooler hummed, packed with glass bottles that looked older than him. At the counter sat a man, not moving, just watching. His eyes never blinked. Chris, forced a smile, slid a 20 onto the counter. "Pump 2. The man's lips curled slowly like he had to remember how to smile back. Then he nodded. Chris filled his tank fast, refusing to look over his shoulder. When he finally turned back, the store was dark. The lights off, the door locked, the man gone. Heart pounding, he jumped in the car and sped off. An hour later, he passed a real gas station and pulled in, still shaking. When he told the clerk about the other place down the road, the man frowned. "There hasn't been a gas station out here in 30 years, he said. "Burned down. Whole family inside." Chris drove the rest of the night without stopping again. Night driving is ordinary, common. A million people do it every day. And that's why the stories linger. Because when the road is empty and the dark is endless, you can't be sure what you saw in the corner of your eye. The passenger seat that feels heavier than it should. The truck that vanishes in the mirror. The road that swallows itself whole. It's waiting just outside the reach of your headlights, and it only takes one look back.